Oh, Sadie. What's up, guys? My name is Daniel, and today I'm sitting here talking with a friend.
My name is Antonio. Where's Ollie?
I have him here because he actually holds a little bit of significance in the way I game today. If it wasn't for him, I probably would still be playing Call of Duty on my Wii. Like, not really, but that's where we started with this. Like, he had the PS3, and he came over one time, and I was playing some Black Ops on my Wii, and we decided to play some zombies.
Guy still had his ankle in a cast.
Oh yeah, that's true. I was got ran over by my grandma. That's
a story for another time.
Yeah, I'll share that in a different day. But anyway, yeah, we were. I was like, yeah, let's play some co-op. They finally added like split screen to Call of Duty on Wii, and his immediate response was like, "What the hell is this shit?"
I've been playing my PS3. On top of that, the first two DLCs from Black Ops.
Yeah, the 1. Wii didn't get any DLCs at all, which is funny because I still have, even on my Wii U, because I transferred my Wii to the Wii U, I still have a DLC pack. So like, I think they were intending to add DLC, but they just never did for whatever reason. And so there's still like data on my Wii U that is prepared to receive DLC. Anyway, really, really weird.
But so how it proceeded is like we were playing. Like it was fun. Don't get me wrong. Like the whole motion controls and like tilting the gun.
Yeah, honestly, it's like playing it on the Wii. It's honestly the best of like keyboard and mouse and a controller because you get like the range of movement from the joystick, but you get the like precision of having like a pointer instead of having to use a joystick to aim. So
and then the fun of it. Holding your gun upside down and fire.
Oh
like
yeah,
this. Your character kind of fire it like this.
It's a kill shot. It's a kill shot. That was good. That was really good.
But then I was like, there's DLC out. And he's like, there's DLC.
Yeah, because it only had one zombies map.
Yeah, just had transit.
No, that was Black Ops 2. Kino der Toten.
Yeah, and it had Kino der Toten. Theater of the Damned.
Oh my gosh.
And so I was like, yeah, no. Like I brought my PS3 over and we hooked up. I think I also brought a TV over so we could hook up in your room. Yeah,
because I had this really old, it was a Zenith. It was like from 1978. It was like a really big old CRT that was like in a wooden box. Like it was huge, and he had brought over this like little it was a CRT as well, but it was like a much smaller, more modern CRT.
Probably like the size of my whole chest and everything. But it was enough to play on. Mm-hmm. And so like I showed him the next map after Kino der Toten, which I think was Shino Sonuma, something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember. But all I remember, mainly what got me was the graphics. Like, he would tell me all the time, he's like, the graphics aren't that good on the Wii. And I'm like, well, it's still fun, you know? That's all that really matters, because I was a Nintendo kid. I didn't give a crap about graphics. And, I mean, neither does he to an extent, but, like, there's a big difference between Wii and PS3 graphics.
It's just, like, the level of crispness.
Yeah, even over, like, the composite cable, because he didn't have HDMI at that point, but just the pure, like, graphical fidelity.
You had component cables. Where would hook up the component cables?
To the Wii?
No, to my PS3.
Oh, I did, because I had a PS2, or my stepdad at the time had a PS2, and he had component cables, and the PS3 could use those.
So we used those, and because my CRT had component slots. Now, it wasn't the greatest. It didn't upscale it too much, but...
It was better than the Wii, that's all I knew.
Yeah.
But I remember that after playing Black Ops Zombies on his PS3, the next thing I went to my mom and I was like, I want a PS3.
Another big selling point was me going, oh yeah, and like unlike Xbox, playing on PlayStation Online was free at the time.
Yeah, so that's another thing that got me was because, I mean, not only like crossplay didn't exist, I know there might be some of you that are taken back by that, but crossplay didn't exist back then. And I had a few friends that were on 360, but I hung out with him the most, and he was on PS3, so by default, like, that meant we had to play there. But what really got it was free online, so I was just kind of like...
Yeah, there was one other kid in our apartment complex, and he had an Xbox 360, and like was the only other person that kind of frequently hung out with us. He also had a Wii.
And that's how me and him were friends. I was friends with him because he had a Wii, so he was like the only person in the complex that I like would swap Wii games with, I guess you could say. Like, we trade games back and forth and stuff.
Because I let, like, when he got his PS3, he didn't have a lot of games, so I let him borrow Motorstorm, the game that came with the original PS3.
I still have that on my shelf. It's literally one of my favorite games. I don't know, but anyway, that was kind of it. From there on, I kind of went into PlayStation, and as you guys may all know, I became what you may call a Sony pony, which I still find hilarious because Xbot is what the Xbox people are called. So Xbots, which sounds significantly cooler. If I was going to be a fan of Xbox, like a fanboy, I'd rather be called an Xbot than a Sony pony. So the naming is much better there. But I loved PlayStation. I went from PS3. I did even look at a PSP at some point shortly after. And then I got the PS4, 5, jumped into PSVR. I actually ended up getting more involved with PlayStation than him at some point, especially once the VR stuff came out and all that stuff.
Like, he was the first one between the two of us to actually start using PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, that's true. I subscribed the second it released. I was like, free games, like that. It felt good because when Xbox, they had Xbox Live Gold, which basically just allowed you to play online and stuff. But PS Plus was saying like, oh, we got cloud saves, you get free games, and it's not mandatory. Of course, until the PS4 came out. But, at the time, it was like for those few, I think it was about 2 years before PS4 came out, I want to say. I think, don't quote me on that. But it was a solid experience, a solid service.
The only crap part about the PS Plus back then, the free games, they didn't stay in your library back then, though.
No, they do. I still have a ton of games.
Oh, that's right, I do. I have some.
Yeah, I have a bunch of PSP titles. That's the one thing I hate or I miss the most is like being able to get PSP titles, because I think it was like 2 PS3 games and then a PSP title. And then eventually it became PS4 games and a PS Vita title. And now it's just 3 PS5 games / PS4 games. Yeah. But yeah, and it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't until recently, as you guys all know, that the Series S came out. And that has kind of changed my perspective on gaming. And I think that me and him are kind of on, I don't want to say different pages, but he is still much more embedded with the PlayStation side of things, while I, like when we play Call of Duty or multiplayer games, normally we're taking advantage of that crossplay because he's still on his PS5 and I'm on my Series S or X. And it's actually to the point where I sold him my Series S at one point, and he, I think, played it for like, a couple weeks?
I played it for a good month straight, but it was hard because at the time with my job, I didn't have a lot of free time, and when, like with the Xbox, I had to download games to it, and like I didn't get any of the free-to-play games on my Xbox. I had most of them already downloaded on my PlayStation. Yeah. So half-time it was just easier for me to hop on my PlayStation for us to play together. Yeah. Unless it was like a specific title like Gears of War.
Yeah, we were trying to play the Halo games together at one point, because I had done that recently on stream over on Twitch, along with Gears of War with my brother-in-law. And I was like, I want to revisit those again, especially because I wanted to play through Halo Infinite. And it's just because of his work schedule, it was either one of us would have to like Game Pass Cloud, which Game Pass like cloud gaming is perfectly fine until you try to play like a multiplayer game.
We played Forza Horizon where I was on cloud and he was on his console, and it did all right. Like rarely did I actually ever have any lag.
Yeah.
But it was still, the lag would be there. But whenever I played on the Xbox or it was downloaded or like I had it hooked straight to my Wi-Fi, it ran more smoothly than on my phone, cloud streaming.
Yeah, but it would just always be an issue where like one of us had to stream it, the other was on the Xbox. So it was never like both of us could just be on our Xboxes at the same time. And even after he recently moved, and during that move he had boxed up the Xbox, weird to say, but he had boxed all that up, and it literally sat in the box. I kept hitting him up and I'm like, hey, like I've kind of been missing my Series S, because at this point I was kind of like, I'm not really playing it all that much. But I desperately wanted to like have a desk set up again, because I'd given all that up, and just kind of focused on just my workstation, I guess. And I really miss having the functionality of like recording a video, and then I go to upload it and edit, upload, all that stuff. And while I'm waiting for that to do its thing, I want to just jump on some Call of Duty or whatever. So having the freedom to be able to just say like, hey, it's so small, it fits right behind my computer. It's super simple to just jump on.
But mainly also what kept me on Sony compared to Xbox is like I had friends that had Xbox and I played with them. I enjoyed Xbox 360, I really did. But it was mainly the first party titles on Sony that kept me. Like, I'm way bigger of a Final Fantasy fan than he is.
Yeah, that's another thing. The games he's into, like those JRPGs and a lot of those more like, that's honestly what really did it.
And so, like, while his focus was more on like Call of Duty and the fast-paced multiplayer games, I would be more on the adventure games. And at the time, Sony had a lot of the exclusivities to like Final Fantasy, just the Tomb Raider series, because it wasn't until the 360, and like it wasn't until like the Tomb Raider Page something Darkness, the one game that everyone hates.
That was multi-platform. Or that's the game that you kind of...
It was multi-platform.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it came out on Xbox 360. It came out on PS3. And I think it was called Angel of Darkness, something like that. But it was the one that everyone hated because they like made Lara Croft really edgy, and everyone didn't like that.
So I have a Tomb Raider game. I think it's the reboot. I'm pretty sure I have the reboot of Tomb Raider on the PS3 digitally. I think it was a PS Plus game actually.
It was. It's Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Those are the three. That's the trilogy for the new.
I just have Tomb Raider.
So that's the first one of the trilogy.
Okay, so I just have Tomb Raider on the PS3. But anyway, yeah, Tomb Raider for me. I funny enough played Tomb Raider after playing Uncharted because I didn't care about that. Played Uncharted, and then everyone was telling me, "Oh, well, you'll like Tomb Raider because it's virtually the same thing," and it's really not. I mean, it is, but it doesn't have that same. I think Nathan Drake is what does it, like his edginess.
So for me, I liked Tomb Raider because like I felt like it was a much more harder action-packed game. While like Uncharted is an amazing storyline, and the gameplay.
The puzzles kill it for a lot of people I've read.
I don't mind puzzles. I like big Legend of Zelda fan, so I'm great with puzzles. True. No, what killed it for me was the combat was decently smooth, but like for me, I was kind of grew up. I also kind of grew up on a lot of those games like the original Resident Evil 4 had a lot of QTEs, and that's the thing. Like when you're fighting as Lara Croft, there's a QTE while fighting, and then Nathan Drake, you just keep pushing the button.
Yeah, it's got that typical like God of War kind of just hack and slash, but melee.
For me, it was just a more kid-friendly game, and it wasn't like a bad story or a bad adventure, but like I
wouldn't say kid-friendly. I would just say like.
I would say it was
more accessible.
Yeah.
Because I would not let my daughter play Uncharted. Like the theme in the game overall is still mature. Yeah. But yeah, the overall combat outside of the gunplay, because I think the gunplay is actually pretty solid. Yeah. But yeah, that combat, but that's the thing though with Uncharted, the focus isn't close combat. Yeah. Like you are most often hiding behind cover and usually dodging grenades from people trying to get you from behind that cover. Yeah. Very rarely do you maybe sneak up on someone or something. There's also a lot of games that he kind of just plays that I don't, which I think is probably a good way to segue into the next thing. Yeah. A lot of you have been asking for a Resident Evil 4 remake sort of review, I guess, or something, or my thoughts on it. And I have a confession to make because I feel like I'm gonna get bullied for this, honestly. It's just like anytime I say it on like a Twitter thread or something, it's just not good, does not go well. I've never played Resident Evil 4. As a matter of fact,
blasphemy.
The only Resident Evil game I've ever truly played was Resident Evil 0 on the GameCube. And even then, I probably played like the first 3 hours of it just over and over.
And then I got him, and because of the PS3, I got him to play Resident Evil 5 with me for a little bit.
I did play Resident Evil 5 for him for a bit, but I was never drawn to it until recently. I did get into Resident Evil 7. I feel like that was a good starting point for a lot of people.
It was a nice take back.
It was like a good kind of refresh for everyone. What really got me, I think, was the RE engine. So the fact that they remade Resident Evil 2 and 3. So Resident Evil 4, it being remade after playing some Resident Evil 7, I'm like, I'm into this. So I actually picked up 2 and 3 on PS4, and I still haven't picked up Resident Evil 4 because, money. But before the eShop closed on the Wii U, I did pick up Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition, which I've heard is the best version of.
I reckon, because I played Resident Evil 4 on the PS2. I played it on the GameCube, and I also played it on the Wii. And personally, I think because of the free aiming with the Wii remote, I believe it made it a little easier for the game.
So that's what everyone says. Basically, it's those pointer controls is it's the Wii
But
magic.
It doesn't necessarily make the game any easier. It makes the aiming a little easier, but it doesn't make the gameplay really much easier.
I've never seen anybody say that they would rather play like the PS2 version over the Wii version. I mean, obviously when we're talking about the not really remasters, but they obviously put the game on pretty much everything. It's probably runs on a toaster somewhere. But like, the fact is it looks better other places. But in terms of raw gameplay, like the Wii is usually the way to go.
Because since it was released in 2005 on the PS2 and the Wii version got it later, they actually gave it a graphical update, so it looks better on the Wii.
No, I mean compared to like the PS4 though.
No,
you know what I mean? Like of all the ways to play it, I'm sure there's better looking ways in general, but the Wii is usually touted as like
I would consider
the overall like definitive way outside of this remake, of course. Which I played the Chainsaw demo, absolutely loved it. I haven't even played the remake honestly, or the Wii version, because I just played the demo so much, and a part of me really wants to play the Wii version, but another part of me just wants to jump into. But I don't have any experience with Resident Evil 4, so
I'm gonna take a second real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
So we'll put a link in the description, but I have been streaming recently Resident Evil 4 Remake on my Twitch, and I may start trying to try getting a following, try doing YouTube and Twitch. It's just hard because I haven't set up my YouTube to my console, my PS5 yet, and I need to go like work on my channel and revamp it a little bit. But I've been streaming it to Twitch, and my handle is Devaro7. He'll put a link to my name.
Yeah, everything will be in the the description for links and all that.
But if anyone would like to watch me play, I am doing a kind of side-by-side comparison. As I've been playing through it, I've been talking about it, and I may actually just start over here soon and forsake the progress I've done, because all my past videos I have to go on to a computer have not been saving to my Twitch account, so anyone watching me can't see my past videos. So I might go change that setting and restart, so that way people who may not be following me right now, may follow me later, can go back and see my commentary on the past.
Another thing I want to add is we're going to be doing this again in the near future. I am going to be having him record some gameplay, and what I'll do is we'll kind of do a collaboration to do a review for the channel, so you guys can go watch him play it live if you want like a more like immediate response to the game, especially from someone who is experienced in the Resident Evil games and has played the previous version. But if you guys kind of just want like a simple, 10-15 minute single video to watch, he'll be providing me with some gameplay, the commentary, and we're gonna discuss it. And by then I will probably have played. I'll probably play the Wii version first, honestly, so we can get like a. That's why I can get his advice or opinion on the remake, because I'm sold on it, but I also kind of want to keep my reservations about it. So definitely look out for that kind of stuff in the future. We're gonna get going, but we will have more discussions like this to come. So if you guys are again interested in that kind of stuff, let me know in the comments below. Give us talking points as well if there's things that I normally wouldn't really talk about on the channel. If you want to see more kind of like a PlayStation, Xbox perspective on certain things or games, I feel like that'd be a cool way to kind of, give us a level playing field. But yeah, definitely, subscribe if you aren't already. Drop a like if you are subscribed. It helps out a ton. And this is Antonio. I will have all his information in the description below. Go show him some love, and I will catch you in the next video.